Today's Poock's post is, when is the right time to sell a law practice? And I've been giving a lot of thought to this question, and we'll share first what are the obvious ones, okay? In terms of if you check the box on any of the following, then it really is the right time to be considering to sell your law practice. And those consist of, you realize that your internal successor is really not ever going to purchase your law firm, and you've got to look for other options. The second one is that you're starting to recognize in your legal market that growth by acquisition has arrived. You've seen that in other industries. You've seen that in the accounting industry. You've seen it in the medical industry. You've seen it with financial planners. Now it's starting to happen with lawyers. So you see it and say, okay, why don't we explore that as well? You have a reason, personal reason, that you want to spend more time outside of the office, and it's time to slow down or just sell it all together. The next one is, maybe you're not generating as much business as yesteryear. So you're thinking, well, why don't I sell while business is still good and it's not going down any further? And then the last one is, okay, you just don't want to renew your lease. And let's explore other options. The non-obvious reason for why senior attorneys, that is, attorneys that have practiced more than 30 years, who are often in their mid-50s to into their 70s, this non-obvious reason for when is the right time to sell your law practice is when you are seeing that you are generating less clients because you're not committing to the 3.0 digital era, which we are now in. 2020 really revolutionized so much of our society from a digital standpoint. Similar to me, I'm assuming that anybody watching this today has one of these smartphones that is only inches away from you. And guess what? It's the same for your clients. And when it comes to your clients searching for law firms today and searching for lawyers today, that search is markedly different than it used to be in yesteryear, because clients, just like they're searching for anything and everything from shoes to hotels to doctors to homes, they are searching for their lawyers on Google. And as a result, those lawyers that are not adopting and adapting to the digital marketing era and the need for multi-channel digital marketing are not generating as many clients as yesteryear. The impact that that's having in terms of the value of your law firm and why you should consider selling your law practice if you're not going to commit to multi-channel digital marketing is it's impacting the value chips of your value of your law practice. We're often saying, we're pointing out that a law firm has 5 components of value. And the 2 most important components to those value chips is your client list and your referral source list. Those you worked incredibly hard on over the course of your career and what we call the word of mouth era. That is, you went to all types of networking events, you went to charitable events, you wrote newspaper articles, you advertised in print media, and you generated a great book of business. Not to your fault whatsoever. Google has entered into all of our lives. It has made the choice of law firms much more convenient in today's marketplace. And for those attorneys that are not investing in the digital value chip of the value of their law firms, it's placing their other value chips, their client list and referral source list, and what we put as orange instead of green, because those lawyers that aren't adopting this multi-channel digital marketing in the post-2020 era are not replenishing their books of businesses as well as they did in yesteryear. And as a result, their books of business are not as valuable, I'm going to say tomorrow, as they were yesterday. And now let's make an analogy. It's not an absolute on-point analogy, but the analogy is to Blockbuster and Netflix, right? We all remember how convenient it was to go down to a Blockbuster video and rent a VHS video cassette or a DVD. But once Netflix came onto the scene and Blockbuster didn't change, it was incredibly more, and still is incredibly more convenient to just click a button on our remote controls to rent the movie, the show, whichever program we want to watch from our homes, than travel, let's say 10 minutes, 15 minutes, a half an hour back and forth to rent a video. As a result, Blockbuster is now out of business. The reason why I say this isn't an on-point analogy is because even though senior attorneys are going to be generating less clients if they are not adopting multi-channel digital marketing, they still have clients and they still present what we call synergy value to growing law firms in particular. And what this shows is that when lawyers are considering to sell their law firms, we're often suggesting that you consider selling to growing law firms, because those growing law firms recognize the 4 components of synergy value that senior attorney-led firms present. They present that instant client growth, they present a combined workforce, cumulative expertise, and marketing value. And here we'll break it down in terms of this question of when is the right time to sell your law practice. In terms of synergy value, we're going to categorize the synergy value now in 3 ways. One way is the synergy value of your senior attorney that is just not going to adopt multi-channel digital marketing. Okay, despite the fact that your grandson, your nephew, your workout buddy, whoever is telling you that you need to get on LinkedIn, you need to get on Facebook, you need to start doing a podcast, all these things, in reality, you're really just not going to do. So rather than see your client intake go down over the years that are to come, we recommend join a growing law firm while you still have a very active client list that you developed in that word of mouth era over the course of your careers. That's category 1. The next category for synergy value that we see in the marketplace in terms of thinking, when should I sell my law firm, is the attorneys that are prepared to invest in the digital marketing value. Invest in it. Grow your book, continue growing your book, continue growing your personal brand, your firm's brand, your digital value, because we are heading into, we already are in the 2.0 digital era for law firms, where you are going to be able to get upfront money in law firm sales when you can show that clients come to you and they come to your firm, not because of the personal goodwill of you as the attorney, but because of the brand value of your law firm. And when there's data analytics that supports that brand value and digital value that you've developed, then your practice is going to rise in value and should be able to generate upfront money at a closing in consideration for the value of the practice. And the third tier of synergy value when it comes to when's the right time to sell your law practice is, let's say you're an attorney and you're killing it now, right? Like, you've adopted digital marketing, but it takes a ton of time, right? You enjoy practicing law. You enjoy the marketing. Maybe you enjoy one or the other. If you consider joining a growing law firm, okay, and bring your firm over, and let's say that firm is committed to either of those 2 categories. They're either committed to letting you continue to practice as much as you want to practice, or on the other hand, they're committed to continue to building that digital value of your practice. That is, you are on the uprise. Join a firm that is totally digital committed, and you will continue to rise in value while you would have already joined that firm. An example in the real world, just to consider, is Sephora, which is now in Kohl's, right? Why would Sephora do that? Right? Sephora is opening their stores all over the country, all over the world. Well, they can get better, greater market share by joining forces with Kohl's. We're going to see that in the marketplace as well, in terms of if you are building your practice now and you join your firm while you're still growing, we see now is a great time to do that as more and more firms become more and more digitally connected to clients, when recognizing those clients are digitally connected and looking for their lawyers where they're looking for them on Google today.